Ladies and gentlemen, things are getting crazy in here. Woo! 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 Things are getting crazy in here. Everything's crashing. Every single crypto is down today. And you know why? Fear. Oh, honestly, it's just fear on top of fear on top of fear. It is absolutely wild, guys, especially if you start seeing what I'm seeing here. All these different articles, all these different tweets are pointing towards the fact that the SEC is trying to screw you in the ass. But most importantly, we're going to talk in this live stream about what's happening next, what we're thinking, what's causing this, and all that. We've got a lot of good content here. And also, going to be behind the dip. Woo! I'm excited! I'm excited! At the end of the day, you guys have to understand that dips like this are where opportunities arise. And I mean, I've got a couple of controversial pieces. For example, from Finance a Lot saying to sell everything. We're going to start out with the neutral side of things, right? Then we're going to move over into why exactly things might be going down. That's the next plan in there. Then we're going to be talking about what our strategy is and what we think is going to happen next. And then after that, probably a little bit of mindset. I'm not sure if I'm going to remember exactly my goal with how I want to structure this live stream, but things are interesting. So everybody, if you're here right now, let me know in the chat box where you're watching from. If you're watching this live right now, I see Lussa is in there, Big Gadget Warehouse. Nico is the first one in here. Kevin Hack, welcome. Edgar Cervantes. The King is coming. Emmanuel Risk, and again, Edgar. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You guys are very welcome. Anyway, we shall, if I can quickly get everything in the right place, talk about this video first. This is interesting, and I just wanted to quickly show it to you guys. Hopefully it's not copyrighted, but I guess we'll see. Again, I make no money from these live streams or anything, so it doesn't really matter, actually.
Some New Year optimism. Morgan Stanley ramps up bullish bets on China. Goldman Sachs drops its Eurozone recession call as the Fed tempers enthusiasm back home.
There's so much bearishness out there right now.
There's simply a lack of downside catalysts, a lack of downside surprises.
There's quite a bit of skepticism.
And therefore, the only way is up.
It does seem as if there's nowhere to go but up.
It's really a sequencing question.
News cycles or bull markets, they start in pessimism, grow in skepticism, mature in optimism.
It's not like we're super bullish.
It's been a fits and starts type of argument.
Anyway, I can kind of let this play on for a while, but you understand the idea. Right now, a lot of people have this mindset of the only way is up, or things were so bad because of either COVID or whatever, that right now we're just going to continue on towards the upside for a little bit, or potentially because the worst is over as the inflation and the interest rates are calming down, so to speak. As I've earlier said, next week is about to be crazy with all these different announcements. The meeting where they're going to be discussing digital assets, the William Hinman documents, the inflation rate, the interest rate in the US, the interest rate in Europe. It's basically a freaking frenzy of everything coming together. And that's next week. That's in 3 days from now that's starting. So why are things down so much today? Well, again, I have so much stuff open that I don't know exactly where to start. So we're just going to do it piece by piece. Wherever article I find here out of the 15, we will talk about first. Ignis from DeFi Research said, took this picture in March of 2020. Ethereum and Bitcoin fell by about 50% in a very short amount of time. I thought it might be the end for crypto, so I was afraid to buy. But it only went up from there, and I ended up buying at higher prices a few days later. Today's dip is nowhere near that level of fear, but I'm buying this dip anyway. And I think it's funny. Just last night, I posted a picture that showcased the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index at 50 neutral. And I really wonder what that will be when we look at it tomorrow. Because right now there's a lot more fear than there was a couple days ago. But in reality, nothing in terms of actual news has really happened except for one thing, one specific liquidation that I think is also interesting and that I will show you in just a second if I can find it. That's the problem right now. I've got open so many ridiculously many things that I'm trying to, here we go. So the only thing that I saw that's really new, because I think a lot of this is caused by Robinhood and selling pressure, and a lot of FUD on top of that. I think this is real, and this is causing a lot of major fear. And the time frame matters here a little bit. So breaking news. The fund that liquidated $2 billion worth of altcoins late last night in the broad crypto sell-off is rumored to be Scimitar Capital. Looks like they've confirmed it here. We've got that tweet open. Our fund has made a strategic decision to liquidate our crypto holdings and return the capital to our esteemed LPs, which are liquidity providers, people that basically give this fund money. We believe this move will provide enhanced stability and opportunities. And yeah, not sure why they used hashtags like that. Anyway, they said right here, let's quickly check this out. Yeah, that is basically confirmed every word that right now, crypto hedge fund Scimitar Capital has fallen into liquidation, becoming the latest high-profile victim of credit crisis sweeping through the digital asset market, which, in my own opinion, is only because of fear. Even though they're based in Singapore and registered in the British Virgin Islands, I honestly think that it's because of what's happening all over the world that's causing them to be a little bit afraid. I mean, it's not that crazy, right? A lot of people all over are extremely, extremely, extremely afraid. And so it's just maddening to me that it's $2 billion and that they've decided to liquidate it. We don't have the exact details about how they decided to do that. But here's Miles, who said, Robinhood delisting Cardano, Matic, and Solana could put significant sell pressure on these tokens. And if we're taking a look, I don't have CoinMarketCap open, do I? I do. If we're taking a look at, this is how it looked yesterday. That was still good times. If we're taking a look. Oh, guys, if you can't see, everybody, if you're watching this right now, make sure you press that like button. I'll give you a couple of seconds. Let me see, we right now are at 40 likes. Let's get to 100. We've got over 300 people watching. Everybody press that like button so YouTube shows this live stream to more people. You don't have to, but I appreciate it. And, why not, right? We're all in this together at the end of the day. So let's move on. All right, so let me quickly put this into frame. There we go. So that was Bitcoin from yesterday / the crypto market. This now is also giving us a skewed little view because indeed this is more realistic, but even now it's down as in more up, meaning just an hour ago when I woke up in shock like that, like I woke up literally like this. And I was like, damn, what's going on? Because I woke up like 3 hours ago, but I went to bed at like 5 something. And as you know, right now it's about 1 p.m. in Dubai. And that was a big shocker. That was for sure crazy. Anyway, when I looked a little bit ago, things were even more depressing because you can see the last hour things have been starting to get back up significantly. Anyway, a lot of coins are down 7%. Cardano and some of the coins affected are down 22%. Solana 21%. Polygon down 23%. Basically, the coins hit by Robinhood are down the most, if you have seen that pattern. So right now, the only things that are up are dollars, which is also kind of funny, as some people are selling the altcoins for those. But you see, some of the worst performers indeed are the ones mentioned in all these different lawsuits. Chili's was mentioned in lawsuits. EOS was not, as far as I remember, but that's kind of funny. Where are you living in Dubai? In downtown. I showed you my view a couple days ago. Let's quickly see. I also want to quickly take a look at which exact altcoins are being that they're going after again. Just want to quickly grab it to see exactly which ones they're after, if I quickly can. Of course, now that I'm streaming, everything takes long, huh? Isn't that always the case? Usually I find this stuff within seconds. Just give me like 5 seconds to find the exact list to see if EOS is also in there. Okay, I've got it. At least I got it from somebody. Miles posted it too. So no, we've got Chili's, Nearflow, ICP, VXG, Nexo, Sol, Ada, Matic, File, Sand, Mana, Algo, Axie, Atom, BNB, BUSD, and Koti. So no EOS and all that. So it's kind of peculiar that crypto is going down the most, actually, if you're thinking about it. All these different cryptos. Oh, Robinhood's going to do crazy stuff to them. And then comes nothing. Did you see Binance liquidated? I'll show you I'll show you everything that I've got. All right, let's give it a second. So altcoins are apparently in one of their worst weeks of the year, and apparently even worst weeks potentially ever because of the lawsuits and because of all this fear stacked on top of fear, stacked on top of fear. Let's quickly go back. So Robinhood delisting these three cryptos could put significant sell pressure on these tokens. Robinhood holds $1.3 billion in altcoins. According to rough calculations by Fabian, $583 million of this may be held in Cardano, Matic, and Solana. Users who still hold will be forced to sell on June 27th. Make sure you read the full explanation. So Fabian basically said, some back of the napkin math. 1.3 billion held at Robinhood, excluding Bitcoin, ETH, and Doge. Let's assume that all 14 supported cryptos are held in proportion to circulating market cap shown in CoinGecko. Loose assumption, but hey. That's likely a little overstated, talking about how much money is in these on Robinhood, but shows that it's a pretty hefty amount to be sold over the next 3 weeks as they have to get out of it. Thinking about how those flows will distribute between Bitcoin, Ethereum, fiat, and other alts, characterizing Robinhood traders as simple retail that want alt-level crypto exposure, but probably don't know much about other on the list. So again, the thing here being that they're not knowledgeable enough to buy into other cryptos because, well, usually the Robinhood buyers that buy crypto on there are entry level. I would assume ETH attracts most of the migrating capital, followed by fiat. And I'd say no, it's 99% fiat, 1% Ethereum, as the moment that Robinhood is getting rid of these things because of regulatory troubles, I think people notice. And they're like, got to get rid of this crypto because it's bad right now. Or do you guys disagree? I think so. DJ Flex says, man, like Dusty, it was good to see you on ATB, my guy. What was in that bowl, though? It was something nice. Hey, cool that you saw me there. Everybody, once more, I'll say welcome to the chat. Have we reached 100 likes? Let's quickly check this out. We have. So you guys are awesome. That's about it. Let's move on. So I'd say most of this is caused by crazy Robinhood fear. Coach says it's pretty assumptuous for you to think that everyone's just going to sell their assets and not just withdraw to their personal wallets. Now, I'm being realistic here and telling the average person holding their crypto on Robinhood is not the person to withdraw to their personal wallets. It's just not. We can start saying, no, these people are here for crypto. But let's just hypothesize here that the average person doesn't know how to buy crypto on any other exchange except for Robinhood. That's where they're buying their stocks. And they probably do not even know that there's a way to hold these cryptos for yourself. I'm talking about 95% of the people holding the crypto Robinhood, not 100%, but about 95%. Because if I still talk, and I still do, to people that are not fully into crypto, like a lot of you guys watching this video right now, most of them just don't know jack shit. So when you tell them, oh, but you could just hold it in a wallet. He's like, yeah, I got it in my wallet. It's called Robinhood. So I don't know, but I don't feel with Coach here in this department because I know the majority of these people, they just don't know. So Borovic was asking, why is everybody selling? Now, at the end of the day, it's, again, just a lot of weak hands and a lot of people knowing that you can make a quick buck off of quickly flipping things because the majority of us are not selling. Now, I have had a short position open for a little bit. I've been introducing you guys to that for the last 2 or so days, 3 days. Ever since Binance got sued, the moment that happened, I opened a short position. Now, honestly, the average price is pretty low for that. So right now we're in a little bit of profit, but not too much. And the thing is, I told you guys at that point as well, there's one thing you should always do, in my opinion, and that is make sure you always have income. And that is two-sided. What I mean with income here is basically make sure that regardless of what's happening in the market, that you're benefiting from that. How I do that? If the market is bullish, the staking that you're doing with your crypto, again, if you're not into DeFi, no worries, but a lot of us are, it will make you money every single day. But the moment that things go down heavily, your ratios might change, your income percentage, or just the amount of money might change. And so to combat that, we usually hedge by opening up a short position, which will basically counter the loss or the less revenue, is a good way to say it, from the staking or from all your income sources. And so if you calculate how exactly much your short should be and what leverage to make sure that it's adequate to kind of weigh off against some of the losses that you're making on all these other fronts, it's a very proper decision. Because if prices go up, and even if your loss gets to, or your short gets to a stop loss, or even gets liquidated, it doesn't matter that much because the income from your other sources should outweigh whatever you put inside that short. But in a case of what we're seeing now, a massive burn where your income might be down a significant amount for a bit, maybe a longer period of time, at least this short can kind of cover up a lot of that. That's why I've been saying that for a little bit. Oh, okay. My second screen has fallen apart, so I am not able to see. And when I say falling apart, I mean I have like right now, because I have a temporary setup, MacBook Pro, iPad to see a lot of things, and sometimes the connection between the iPad and the Pro just decides to skip. I'm not sure exactly why that's so stupid, but it is. Anyway, let us quickly move on. So one thing I don't want to go too much into, but it's just kind of funny to mention, is this. Charles Hoskinson apparently wants peace with the XRP community. This is funny for everybody that's into XRP or into Cardano, potentially because Cardano is getting absolutely grilled right now. It's one of the worst performers in the top 100, and potentially he's trying to, grab. But I love it. Can't say anything negative about this. Charles is always welcome, and I personally love XRP and Cardano, so I'm not really in a negative light by this. Let's quickly see. Again, the screen is blocking every single time, so it's going to be a little bit harder for me to see exactly what is going on. I'm not sure how to fix this. Let me... Oh, iPad is just... Oh, there we go. Oh. Let's try this again. Otherwise, like, now I can't see you guys, or I can't see, like, me, so to speak. So I can't see anything that I'm doing, which is annoying if I only have one screen. There we go. Let's try this again. All right. Moving on. So there's also CZ, and he said a couple of things which I think are interesting and warrant a little bit of thought. So this is mostly about the allegations against Binance knowing all these things, against insider trading, against manipulation, against, I guess, fear-mongering of people posting all these things over on Twitter, people posting all these things everywhere, when in reality, most people don't know jack shit. And so even in this live stream here, at the end of the day, we can only speculate exactly what parties are facilitating this negative thought and what parties are actually making people fearful and making people sell. But at the end of the day, you don't really know for sure. As CZ points it out, saying, why is the market going up or down? And obviously he posts this right now, specifically because things are crashing, but no one really knows. And it's the truth. A lot of people claim to know and can often pin it on a single, which is often wrong, reason. And the way he writes that, it makes me think that he knew exactly why the market is going down and everybody's wrong. If you know what I mean? Like, we good? What's happening? Why is this happening? We good? Everybody, are we back or no? Just quickly say yes or no in the chat so I can see. Are we loaded back in? Keep freezing. Keeps freezing. Your internet bill. Damn, I'll just wait it out a little second. It shows for me that everything is fine. Why is it freezing then? One frame per minute? Really? Freezing stream. I mean, I saw it was like gone for like, a couple seconds, but... Oh, maybe there's just a heavy delay, actually. You guys are saying yeah for a long time now. Let's see how much the delay is. And by the way, little side note. Again, the internet here, and I'll tell you this is a little side story, but the internet here, I think, is like 500 MBS upload and download. I think it's just extremely good. But even 2 nights ago when I was doing the ATB show on Around the Blockchain, like literally everything went down for a couple hours. So I just don't know. This is all I can tell you. The internet sometimes here is garbage. I am using my neighbor's internet, of course, because I'm not going to pay for that. But his internet's really good normally. So maybe he's just kidding. No, but I don't know. Audio is bad. Really? Should be good. Why is the audio bad? Maybe there's something bad in the settings. Let's skip over it. Everybody, again, you know what? To quickly, because I noticed 100 people tuned off, just quickly spam "let's go" in the chat. So maybe the YouTube algorithm will notice, hey, we're back. Just type "let's go." Just type it like 3 times to see, just get a little spike going. Anyway, let's move on. So the way that CZ writes this kind of makes me think that he knows something. He knows exactly why things are going down. He knows exactly why things are off, or he knows exactly some shady stuff. But he's basically telling it like, see, people don't know. A lot of times they're wrong. Knowing that he knows exactly why things are going down. But he claims that nobody really knows. In reality, there are many sellers and buyers in the market, which is true. Everyone may have their own reasons. A good example is a false narrative, right? Because there's 2 pictures attached. One shows, just noticed something weird in Binance's proof of reserves. Mass sold coins over the last months and cashed out due to fiat somewhere, or they moved a large chunk of Binance's company reserves out of the exchange's cold wallets. And another Bitcoin expert, India, posted $1.3 billion worth of altcoins, held at Robinhood could be dumped in the market over the next 2 weeks, and the market is dumping in anticipation of that. The majority of them will be of Sol Matic ADA. That's why the market is crashing, as during this time when the volume is at multi-year lows, the selling pressure could be deteriorating. Now, CZ says, false narrative. Binance converted its holdings to fiat. The fact is, Binance fiat stablecoins reserved, which are used to pay for short-term salaries and expenses, has decreased. Our crypto reserves, however, have increased. So the balance is just different, but it's still in balance in the past months, weeks, days. The second narrative, $1.3 billion worth of altcoins on Robinhood could be yada, yada, yada. And then CZ says, no idea. You probably know more than me, in the sense of, if CZ doesn't know, if he can't confirm this as the CEO of Binance, one of the biggest competitors, if he doesn't understand or know that this is the truth, you probably know more than him, in the sense of, yeah, well, if you're saying that's the truth, all right, but nobody can really know. Other narrative, US bans, yada, yada, China, HK unban, greed and fear. The 2 emotions you need to manage in any market. Manage your risks, stay safe. Our job here is to ensure the platform works smoothly. And Nilesh says, after China FUD in September 11th, 2017, interesting. Market bounced back just in 15 days. During the COVID crash, market bounced back in 3 months. So some will take opportunity with long-term targets, and some will sell in fear. Loss only when we book, meaning you only really take the loss if you actually sell it, all the way through. You just hold on, ain't nothing mattering. Cheers to that, boys. At the end of the day, as I always say, a loss. It's only a loss on paper until you decide to cash it out. I mean, my 99.9% loss on some altcoins, it's not a loss until I sell it. Oh, my days. I have some altcoins that are down 99.9%, and I'm still holding on, because at this point, it's like, well, why even bother, right? So, again, to summarize, 2 massive pieces of fear is the fact that this Scimitar Capital, even though we have no idea what they were holding, and it's kind of strange because this guy, Thicky, this looks like a fake, to be honest. I don't believe this. You know why? I don't believe this. So the reason, I think, is because he's kind of like, it kind of feels like he's joking around, because he has Scimitar Capital in his bio, which is a different Scimitar Capital. Or is it the same? Same. All right. So he's Scimitar Capital in his bio. It has 1,000 followers. Nah, I don't buy this. I think this is cap. 400,000 views. Hearing Lima Capital about to sell $69 billion worth of assets next. Yeah, no, I'm calling bullshit on this one. Funny that I didn't notice it earlier. Good, we saw it though somewhere later in the stream. Good, we noticed, because that's some goofy ass stuff. Oh damn. Interesting. Let's continue on. So let's quickly see. One thing that we saw earlier was how everybody, like we said before, is coming together. Coinbase said a couple hours ago, America faces an enormous opportunity to be the home for the next chapter of financial and technological innovation. Setting clear ground rules will pave the way. And this is a little video by Coinbase. Let's check this out.
Cryptocurrency, regardless of what you think about it, it's not going anywhere. It can't be uninvented. Most of the world is embracing this technology now to update their financial system. And what I fear is that we're going to be sitting here in 5 or 10 years, and we're going to come back to crypto and think about it like we did with 5G or semiconductors and say, wow, now it's a matter of national security that we get it brought back onshore. The future of crypto technology should be built in the US.
Yeah, and this is just about the idea that the United States is doing everything in their power to make sure it's banned all the way. And that's why we're making those jokes about, the United States SEC wanting to protect investors when in reality, it seems to be exactly the opposite. A good example. It's rumored that FTX will actually relaunch, potentially at the end of this year, potentially the beginning of next year. We do not know. But isn't it kind of funny that whenever it concerns something legitimate that people have got actual money in, the SEC is like, let's not meet. Let's not even discuss. You, screw you. Get back to your corner. Get back to your cave, caveman. But then when it regards, actual scams, the SEC is not paying attention. They're just like, and they just look the other side. Isn't it kind of funny? You guys kind of noticed that with FTX and with actual scams, those crazy scams that go rampant on Twitter. Nah, the SEC is nowhere to be seen when it comes to Binance and places where people have actual money and have actual incentive to, stay because they're good for the people. No, they're focused on that. One other thing, DeFi Drew posted a little while back, Bitcoin's big day on Wall Street. Hopefully you guys remember that. That's when things were really exciting. That's when things were at its all-time high and when people were shouting about it everywhere. This crypto fad isn't going away was the narrative. And now, just yesterday, now might be a good time to consider quitting crypto. You see what's funny about this is that usually when things are going well, they just tell you everything's going to go well forever. But at some point it switches around, but they're not the ones to tell you. They're just the ones to kind of keep you on with a little story. And that's actually another, fun thing that I've noticed from the markets, which is people seem to applaud whoever shouts the loudest. But very often people don't seem to applaud the things that actually matter or the victories that are actually being fought in the background because they're, again, being applauded less heavily. One of the things that, for example, happened yesterday was huge. And I'll cover this in a video more in depth. I'll just give you a quick hint. John Dean said, big win, congrats to Caitlin Long. The Federal Reserve lost its motion to dismiss yesterday. Custodia Bank can move forward with its plausible claims. We win in court. Custodia Bank was this major crypto bank, so to speak. You can see on the sideline Caitlin Long and what she thinks about crypto. Founder, CEO, Custodia Bank, Bic was his 2012, 22-year Wall Street veteran. And, well, they basically, did get to fight themselves in court against the Federal Reserve, as they were basically claiming that Custodia Bank should screw themselves. But again, I'll talk about that further on in a video later on. It's just good to see that they do get to fight this fight. This from Finance a lot. We talked about the fact that they're still extremely bullish on everything. I saw one thing about banks, but I might not have that open anymore. Just quickly seeing through. Yeah, I'll close these ones because this is all BS. Luckily, we found it out earlier. In a little second, we'll talk about what we think of doing. Let's quickly check this out. So even Wise is saying that the majority of this is just because of assets held on Robinhood. But I will tell you again that this is just, I don't know what this says, but it looks kind of funny. I can't speak freaking Hindi or whatever. Anyway, it's a lot of this is based on other people's ideas. A lot of people is right now biased to just go with the idea of, okay, Robinhood getting rid of these coins, fear, boom, it's gonna dump. But I kind of feel as if the majority of people, you guys are saying froze again. Why is somebody saying froze? I'm not sure, guys. I think the stream is doing well. I'm just going to continue on. If it's bad for some people, it's bad. So a lot of people are just going with this narrative if it's bad. But in reality, the crypto prices went down. It doesn't seem to be exactly the moment that Robinhood announced this. And 2 days ago, they were already looking, or 3 days ago at this point, they were already looking into banning it or getting rid of it. So I'm like, if the markets didn't crash massively the moment that Robinhood said they were thinking of delisting, is it then now because of fear of other cryptos getting delisted? Is it now because of fear that since Robinhood is getting rid of these coins, that other exchanges are going to get rid of these coins and that you have no more place to trade these or sell these? Because, I mean, I can't fathom that only Robinhood has enough pressure from those people selling it to create this big of a dump at 22%. So it should be fear stacked on top, which again could be because of people anticipating Robinhood sales. But even like CZ just said, we can't know exactly how much will be sold. We can't know many of those details. So a lot of this is just people eyeballing and thinking, it's going to get that bad. It's going to get that crazy. But in reality, it doesn't seem to be that certain. Oh, now I can see the stream lagging again. You know what? I'm just going to continue on. I don't know why this is happening, guys. It sucks, but hey, hopefully you real ones will stick along. Another fun thing to actually talk about this, and this is where we go into what my plan is for, the next couple of weeks, next couple of months, is honestly, I forgot to show you, buying like a madman. Why? Well, I've been in the crypto space for 10 freaking years. It's a long time. And I've been making videos on YouTube here for you guys for almost 7 years. So 6.5 years or so, almost every single day. And the thing is, and this is something you guys have to understand, every single time that people shout, it's gonna go down, sell everything, get rid of it, and get rid of their entire desk, things come back harder than they ever fell down. And so a good example is what we're seeing right there. This person took a screenshot, I guess from a Korean exchange, or Binance at that point. When things were going down heavily, Bitcoin, you can see the price of Bitcoin there is about $3,900. You can see it right there. If only he bought, right? He would still be up like 8x on his investment right now as we speak. But he probably didn't. Or rather, he bought a couple days later at a higher price. And the thing is, I personally think if you consistently buy, so you literally buy every single day, that's one of the things I like to do. Usually you get yourself a very juicy average price. It's only when you sequentially buy once every 3 months, once every now and then, once every dip when you try to time them, or once every time you feel as if they're going to move upwards, you're going to be often wrong. And so you're probably going to lose money in the short term very often at that point. But if you just consistently buy, especially in times of fear like this, I personally think you're in a really good position for the longer term. I personally think so. I mean, just realize, this person just kept on buying the moment that Bitcoin had such a massive crash of like 50%. My balls drop every single time it says you're offline because I think that YouTube is banning me. Again, if you guys do not know, YouTube has banned me a couple times in the past for streaming crypto stuff, so I am always afraid. The internet is sometimes bad, I know, but I'm just going to go on, and people, unfortunately, one thing you can do is just like click 30 seconds back. So you're not watching it live, but 30 seconds ago, but that way you might not have to buffer. I'm just going to go on with the story for a little bit, and then I'm going to end the live stream, so don't worry about it. There's not that much. We talked about most things that are not doable stream. Bye. All right. I don't know why it's happening. Anyway, yeah, if you just consider the fact that if he bought every single day from this point on, how much up he would be. And that's kind of the same situation as now. People are massively fearing, but a lot of this fear, most likely, again, in my opinion, is coming from whatever's happening next week. Martini says, good to see the SEC really doing their job protecting retail investors by slaughtering them during the middle of the night, because that kind of seems to be the case. But there's nothing really indicating that they have said something new. At least I've not seen anything come out specifically. Let's quickly see CZ and exactly if he's posted anything else. No, he's just primarily been focused on the idea that Gensler is trying to destroy crypto. Let's see Watcher Guru to see if something crazy was just announced or anything. No, we just had Jim Cramer state that he is bullish on Apple VR. So I made a joke that we should go ahead and potentially short Apple because he's saying that. And again, all this news with Robinhood, etc., came out like 19 hours ago. So why then would the crypto market be in such a bad situation now still? I think it's just fear on top of fear, right? That's the only way I can think about it. A lot of you guys have been saying that the 1 minute chart is looking amazing. Or that's what I've heard now because things are going up again over on the hourly. Yeah, a lot of coins are up significantly over on the last hour. I think what's most interesting is actually taking a look at the Bitcoin pairs. So that means you're comparing altcoins to Bitcoin because a lot of altcoins like XRP have actually been doing really well against Bitcoin. However, right now, if you're looking at it, yeah, coins like Cardano, coins like almost any single one are just doing really, really bad in comparison to them because they're down just double digits, heavy double digits too, like 23% down is a significant amount. But generally speaking, XRP was going on a really big tangent, going up really properly. And again, the only thing I am watching for, the only thing I think you should be fearful of is whatever is happening with the inflation rate and the FOMC meeting and the ECB, basically interest rate decision, which are all coming up June 13th, 14th, and 15th. Then again, with regards to XRP, I'm extremely bullish because I believe that all this that's happening right now are bullish factors for their case and bullish factors for the XP price also. And so this is what we're seeing right now. Could this be the start of altcoin season? Potentially, but I don't think so. I think only the moment that potentially Ripple would win, for example, or when really all these industry leaders come together to state, just some unified crypto alliance or something, and they're suing the SEC. At that point, potentially, I think a crypto bull market would feel like it's back because of altcoin rushes. Right now, the crypto market is still pretty divided, and I guess guys like Robinhood are still showing that crypto is not here to stay by delisting some cryptos. Again, I think crypto is here to stay, but Robinhood seems to think, the SEC is alleging something, they must be right, because they're too afraid to fight this. That is such a negative pressure on the market. But at the end of the day, since the entire crypto market is staying resilient, we're just going to have to wait to see if more exchanges are going to be delisting things and if more exchanges are going to be fearful. Again, the reason I'm saying that is because even Crypto.com went for suspending the U.S. institutional business for the most part. Again, this is a little bit skewed because they say, it's for this or that reason, but we all know it's because they're fearful of the SEC. Over next week, we also have got, again, a meeting where a lot of these important Congress people in the U.S. will be discussing the policy on digital assets. A while ago, again, things are just now starting to click for me. Gary Gensler wanted to be an advisor for Binance, but it's kind of funny that he never held crypto, he says. So how can you then be an advisor for a crypto exchange if you're kind of against crypto? So really, it's just only a personal vendetta. That's what I keep saying now more often. That's interesting. And second of all, the William Hillman documents that are going to be coming out. We're going to see what the SEC thought internally about crypto. All over on June 13th, 14th, 15th. It's just a very important week. But a lot is going to be going down on the 13th. And I'm watching it very freaking carefully, guys. It's going to get really, really wild. One thing you guys asked is, are you buying more XRP? Is it a good time to buy more XRP? Yes. But even Cardano, even Solana, all those. I mean, getting delisted and getting into these lawsuits, as long as these major exchanges don't decide to follow the footsteps of Robinhood and delist these cryptos, we're good. And if they do, that means crypto prices will probably fall a significant amount more, in my opinion. And that means that another crazy buying opportunity will follow up soon, because I do believe these coins will resist. I do believe these coins will be resilient enough to withstand a lot of these downward pressure, in the sense that they will not crash like 99%. But they're following the same fate as XRP faced in 2020 when they got sued by the SEC and all these platforms were turning against them. But XRP is still in the top 10 right now, right? Sitting Dingo says, do you believe the USA is heading into a recession or depression? And how do you see that affecting Bitcoin and alts? So, I mean, you cannot trust politicians with questions like this, because even Christine Lagarde, the head of the ECB, said, we're not going to head into a recession. Yet, 2 days ago, Europe, basically, or the ECB announced they're in a recession. And from that perspective, I believe as well that the United States can shout whatever they want, but we're on the brink, we're on the verge of things just getting bad. Then again, I personally think a recession as a concept is not necessarily bad, depending on how hard the landing is, how hard you fall. And I personally think that the way they're handling the inflation interest rate might actually be worse for the general consumer, for the general person, the public, than actually letting it fall a little bit harder to basically get back up quicker. So again, so that's kind of a difficult way to to kind of see that, but I believe that that's the case. So how do I see that happening for Bitcoin and alts? How do I see that affecting them? I personally think everything in that department is quite bullish. So what I mean with that is, regardless of what happens in the US, as long as people show or see that things are not going splendidly and amazing, I think all of that is bullish. I think all of that is nice. I think it's only in moments where the United States or the Europe or whatever entity shows really great strength by mesmerizing all people with their good numbers, that potentially crypto's in a bad spot, because people prefer to just stay with whatever is working properly and has worked for 100 years, a whole century, than risking it on cryptos, for example. But right now, for the last couple of years, and I'd say this faith has been kind of lost since like 2009 already, or 2008, I should say. But the last couple of years, specifically since 2020, people have just gotten more fearful of the policies higher up. And they're just more willing to take matters into their own hands. And that's why we're seeing a lot of people just move over to crypto as well, because they just can't trust their government fully. Especially since 2019, 2020, if you know what we know, people have just started to really distrust the government and their policy, and the fact that they always control everything and control your money. And so from that perspective, yeah, if a big recession comes, things do really, really bad in the States or in any country, people are more drawn towards things that they can control themselves, which in this case is crypto, or the idea that if shit hits the fan, you always have money you can move around. If they ever block you from doing something, you always have money. If they ever block the banks, you always have money, you always have control. And I think one of the biggest reasons why I like crypto so much is because they can never take it away from you. Now, there was some fear with Ledger and things, but in general, they can never take it away from you. Another part is I am a freedom maxi in the sense of the only thing I care about in this life is being as free as possible, with certain constraints, all right? I do abide by all the rules. I'm not going to be a freaking anti-social motherfricker and just be like opposing everything. But I just mean to live free in the way of, and that's honestly why I like to teach a lot of you guys how to properly use decentralized finance, how to properly use DeFi, how to make more money on the internet, or how to make more money this, that, or how to do well in crypto. A lot of the reason comes because I believe everybody should be free. Inherently, I think a lot of people are locked up in a system that just controls them too much, leaving them with no free choice, leaving them with nothing to do except for just follow their daily routines that's been set for them. And I think people should step away from that if they want to. A lot of people don't. And honestly, to summarize the story real quick, yes, I'm DCAing into crypto. Yes, I believe crypto is the way to go. Yes, I believe that crypto will survive all this and crypto will bounce back harder. There's a very good chance that tomorrow when we look back, cryptos will be up a significant amount, like double digits for a lot of these cryptos, because it's fear stacked on top of fear and stacked on top of fear. Then again, it depends a little bit on what's really causing this to happen in the background. Anybody stating that this is just retail is always wrong. Major moves like 20% down can't happen with only retail. It's major institutions doing some crazy shenanigans. But very often, these institutions have a bigger plan. And that could be because they want to shake you out. They want to fear you so that you're selling so that they can buy it up cheaper. We talked before about the BlackRock major bank strategies of the one thing you want to do as a major bank, the one thing you want to do as BlackRock, the one thing you want to do when you're in a legacy industry like the banking or just things of that nature is you don't want people to adopt technology too quickly that's going to hurt your business model. A good example is Warren Buffett. He has no incentive to push crypto unless some of his major holdings in Berkshire Hathaway are adopting crypto of sorts so that they make good money off of it or have good benefit off of the technology. Right now as we speak, why would a bank say, hey, go for crypto? That would lead to more withdrawals from the bank into the crypto sector, which is again why they're trying to block you and why all these major partners are being pressured by the SEC to get rid of their dollar, euro, whatever gateways with crypto exchanges, because they do not want you to take your money out of this system that they've got, because otherwise how can they control you and how can they control the system? How can they print more money if nobody messes with that anymore? But that's besides the point. If you think about it, right? Why would a bank want you to adopt crypto? Why would a bank show any signs of being bullish on crypto? Because you're just going to take more money out of their system and they're reaping no benefits because it's outside of their legacy system. The only moment that they're going to start showing all this crazy support is the moment that they've set their roads up, that they've set everything up to make sure to facilitate that you can buy crypto through them. You can hold your crypto at their place, for example, or that you can blah, 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 blah through them benefiting them. Or that they've set themselves up a new corridor, which basically incentivizes them now to promote crypto as much as possible because it benefits them the most. A bank is not acting in your best interest. They're acting in their own best interest. A bank will not, I cannot state that they will lie, all right? Because that would be an allegation that I can't prove. What I can say is a bank can certainly try to hide the truth. I mean, a good example is research papers. How often are research papers being lied in? Well, that's always hard to say because it's trying to be objective as possible. What can be done, however, and this is a very well-known thing with statistics can lie in the sense of you can skew statistics to whatever narrative you like to fit, or at least you can attempt to. And research paper, vice versa, or the same. You can always write a research paper on a topic that you already know the conclusion of and basically write your analysis in a way that comes to the same conclusion or bias it in a certain way, which is why you always want these independent researchers to come to one conclusion, so to speak, when they're independent and non-biased. And with banks, the same thing. I mean, they don't necessarily have to lie to you. They could just hide the truth that this crypto technology is juicy. And the same thing for BlackRock, the same thing for these major institutions. They can always try hide the truth. And somebody just says, Irish guy says, USA only 12% of the market. The crypto ecosystem doesn't need the US. Literally, it matters zero. It matters frick all. If the US just says, bye-bye crypto, bye-bye. Look at China. They said, bye-bye to crypto. Look at how freaking high we are. It doesn't matter. Even if the US literally steps out all the way, it screws up the US people. It screws up the US investors. It doesn't make them free. But hey, if they want to follow the footsteps of China, which by the way, through Hong Kong, is now following their own footsteps, so be it. And the same thing goes for if the US decides to ban, if every country decides to ban every major crypto exchange, still nothing will happen. I mean, like we saw with the Mt. Gox hack like a decade ago, it survived. Crypto is now 100 times higher than it was at that point. It'll survive. It will continue on. People will keep on buying. People know what they're buying it for. And that's the most important thing. Understand why you're buying into this technology. Understand why you're holding all this. If it's just to make money, understand you should be a little bit more on top of things because things move quickly. Especially if you're one of the faint-hearted, like, my mother would be, for example. A lot of these people fear their money going down. On the opposite side, if you're here for a good time, a long time, and you understand the technology and you understand that the general way to where it can go is only upwards. It can only go upwards over longer periods of time if you ask me. Yeah, then there's nothing to worry about here. All we're talking about then is short-term fluctuations. I just talked to you guys. I even have a short position open. And a short position is not for a short time, even though it also is. It just means that I'm expecting the markets to move down a little bit to make profit on that. I talked at the start of the video or the live stream why I did that. But right now, I'm using a couple different platforms. The biggest one I always keep using is Bybit. There's always a link down below if you also want to check it out, by the way. You always get some crazy bonuses, but it just makes sense. Like Ari's guy says, if trading, worry about these things and understand these things more properly than the rest, right? Whatever I'm saying just now. If you're long-term holding, it doesn't matter that much. Like I've told my entire family, everybody that's bought crypto because of me, funny enough, I always tell them, because it's so funny, guys. You know how many of these people still come up to me and say, hey, you think this crypto thing is not a fad? You think it's really going to last? And I look at them and think, why did it get you into buying all this? Because I never convince them to just buy something. I always convince them the vision of this crypto, and then they decide for themselves they want to buy, and I will help them set up their accounts and whatever. And it's always interesting to me how many people are still fearful when they've at some point consciously decided to buy into this tech. And like Urma says, you never know the percentage. It's all about politics behind the doors. The thing is, you also never know about why. It's just actually really frustrating. The frustrating part here being that people, they see a vision, but just because the numbers are red for a little bit, they lose all sense. And they're just like, fear, crazy, sell. When they forget all about what made them buy in this in the first place. I am not saying that you should hold forever. Please, if you know a way to make money on the short term by selling all your crypto and maybe not even buying it back, who cares? You do you. At the end of the day here, I'm just hoping for your success. As I said before, all I want is for you to be freer than you were yesterday. So please don't think I'm only here to advocate buy crypto, be successful. No, if you know a way to get crypto to crash, let it go absolutely to zero, and you make a freaking ton of money that way, and it frees the people even more. Hey, I'm your fan, all right? If you find some ways. But for right now, all I can say is let's wait for June 13th. Let's wait for what's about to happen. Let's see a little bit more about some institutions stepping forward, or we see the politics in the background, because it just doesn't make sense for the entire crypto market to fall this much because of Robinhood. It doesn't make sense. Robinhood's not that important. So the only thing I can then explain is that it's Robinhood causing people to massively fear that more exchanges will follow, or that there's a sell crunch because people are putting up a false narrative out there. Hayo says XRP 3% change to win against the SEC. I think the percentage of Ripple winning this lawsuit against the SEC is like 95%. And that means that XRP comes out to some extent victorious. But hey, that's just my thoughts. Let me also quickly see if anything new has popped up here over on any news site. Just to quickly see if any crazy news is coming up. I'm just seeing SEC crackdown. We already talked about that. Mt. Gox hack. We already talked about that. SEC stunning enforcement action against the Binance and Coinbase. We talked about that. Trading platform Robinhood to discontinue support for Cardano, Polygon, Solana. We talked about that. So nothing's necessarily changing. Is it because Binance US suspended their dollar deposits, etc.? Yeah, but that was yesterday's news. So why was crypto then, continuing to fall for hours and hours afterwards? Is it because people noticed only late? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's see. I'm checking out a couple different websites. Founder of SEC Office of Internet Enforcement warns of upcoming regulatory siege. Is it because some insiders know, some major capitals know that multiple different crypto companies are going to be sued next? That's one thing I am fearing. If we're talking about further downside, there's two things. One is massive liquidations happening from these falls, which cause a bigger spiral. And the second is bigger insiders knowing something that we don't, which could be, for example, that another trading platform or two are going to be sued next. I mean, I'm thinking about it. Robinhood delisting these cryptos is kind of shooting themselves in the foot. If they kept it on and tried to fight this fight, which, again, their board members probably don't agree with, but if they did that, they could have always argued that the SEC's rules were never clear, and so they cannot just delist because of allegations. That doesn't make sense. Now, because they've delisted it, they basically agree with the SEC's method and of acting, and now, they've just pussied down. But that might also mean that the SEC or some entities will come after Robinhood next to sue them for at some point facilitating the trade in unregistered securities, which is again interesting to me. Let me know quickly in the chat box. Are you guys bullish or bearish on crypto right now? So let's say we're talking about a month from now. Do you think the prices will be higher or lower than what we've got today? All I see on all these news websites is fear of Cardano, trading support, stopping for Cardano. Cardano down 23%. Total liquidations are $400 million. And I'm seeing this ex-SEC official. Let me show you. Former SEC official tells investors to get out of crypto platforms now, says regulatory siege will continue. And that, I must admit, is a very fearful piece. This individual, John Reed Stark, is a goofball, if you ask me. I don't respect his opinion. I don't think he's actually very useful. But his point, makes a little bit of sense that the United States SEC might go on a full-on crypto purge. And potentially that's what people are fearful of. And potentially an insider knows what exchange or what company is about to be sued next. And for that reason, they've exited or something. That could definitely be something that's true. Okay, so you guys' opinions are, this is the dump before the pump. I mean, that's honestly always the case. To the moon, El Mao, higher, especially XRP. I'm buying. Robinhood is chicken. They are. Looking at more LCX. Bullish now. My bank stopped trading to my exchange. Looks like I'm getting a new bank account on Tuesday. That's kind of funny. ASMR says, hi. In a week's time, we'll have Bitcoin over 30,000. You watch. You know what? ASMR, I'll hold you to that. If Bitcoin is above $30,000 this month, should I do 1 or 10? I'll give $1,000 away to you guys. 10 people, $100. If Bitcoin is $30,000 this month. I could do this week too if you guys want, but that's a little bit, why not just a month? Then we have 20 days to fix it instead of like 7. That's a good deal. So let's do that. We're going to do that because that would be pretty funny if things actually recovered that significantly here. Only 1,000. Fair point. Yeah, we're 2,500. Now we're going to do 1,000. Maybe I'll up the stakes later on if things get juicy. If we get closer, I might up the stakes a little bit. Right now it's like a long shot. So it's kind of like, oh, I'll give away $100,000 if Bitcoin hits $1 million this week. Okay, cool. Makes no point, right? It's just for a little click. Well, $1,000. And if the stakes get a little bit higher, if it's more certain, we'll up it. Because now it's just for fun. But at that point, we might take it a little bit more serious. How much you giving away, Bez? Fair point. If it happens. Again, I'm just checking some different sources as well, seeing what everybody's writing down, seeing if anybody's saying something crazy, but no. Nothing too wild, honestly. Let's see here real quick. One thing I want to check is this. Oh, they've changed everything. So this is the liquidation heat map on CoinGlass. And over the last 24 hours, about $400 million. And actually over the last 12 hours, $350 million has been liquidated. And that's actually the worst spike in a significant amount of time. I don't think we can up the stakes here. No. In the last month, this has been the worst liquidation we've seen. Which makes sense because it's been a long time since I've seen double-digit losses in coins like Solana. Now, Solana has been like not a good example, but let's say Matic and Cardano. It's the first time in a long while. Why is Cardano not in this little list here? I guess it doesn't have the most losses. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Interesting. Captain Kurt says crypto going on the New York Stock Exchange soon. Probably has something to do with drop. Okay. Not sure what you're talking about, but perhaps. And yeah, once more, everybody, if you're watching this right now, make sure you press that like button. Right? If you have not pressed it yet, make sure you do it right now. Why? No reason. I'm not going to give you anything. There's nothing in return. You will get absolutely nothing. But, you know, they often say, do one nice thing a day at least. This could be your ticket to, to helping somebody out today. And it's a very simple cost. Just pressing that like button, just like beep. That's it. So, again, if you want to do something nice today, make sure you press that like button. And that's about it. I don't have a deeper meaning and all that, except for just, for you to be nice. I noticed the stream is lagging again. You know what, guys? I think I've said everything I wanted to say. I think we've covered exactly what I think. Again, my narrative is still just buy the freaking dip. Just buy like a madman. Matter of fact, the moment I get done streaming, I'm going to head over and buy more crypto because I don't care about what anybody says. I don't care about all these guys that are fearful. It doesn't matter to me. You know what's funny? Every single time that these views spike by like 100, the stream crashes. Is there something, is YouTube trying to screw me? Does it think we're doing something strange or something? I really notice it. Every single time I see a crazy uptick in views, the stream goes down or potentially just stuck somewhere. That's really odd. Anyway, later today I'll be talking more about crypto in more videos. So what I'll say again is put your notification bell on. What if something crazy happens? What if an exchange gets sued next? You need to be notified. So put your notification bell on. It's extremely important you do that. And yeah, that's about it for the stream for today. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And I'll see you probably again later today in another crypto video. There's so much news to be covered. We have to talk about the major win for Custodia Bank. We'll talk about that later. We're going to talk about these liquidations a little bit more and what that might mean. A lot of cool stuff coming up. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, saying hi. And yeah, if you want more videos, just tune in more often and I'll make more. So yeah, that's about it.